Hi, my name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. Are we days away from a financial apocalypse? Are we days away from this sequester, March 1st sequester, that is going to unveil the true health of our economy? Our economy is on life support. There is no recovery unless you happen to own one of the too big to fail institutions that have received trillions of dollars in bailout money in order that they may survive while the economy withers and dies. Now, you're not going to hear this news from the mainstream media. Matter of fact, they're going to point to the Dow Jones at 14,000 and say, look, we've turned the corner. All these extraordinary measures have been worth it. But I'm here to tell you, it's a con game. The largest con game that has ever been committed to any nation, any peoples of any nation in the history of this planet. This is what's occurring right now. And when it comes to an end, it's going to be a violent, painful realization that we are not in recovery. And in fact, we've went drastically the other way during these so-called recovery years. In 2008, we were at $9 trillion in debt, a shocking amount. But we've went the wrong direction. We're pushing $17 trillion of debt as I make this video tonight. There is no recovery. You can't get out of debt by spending the nation further and further into debt. They'll point to the Dow Jones, 14,000 points. That isn't the economy that you and I live in. The reality of it is the middle class is shrinking. They're losing money. Their net worth is falling. Their income is falling. And since 2006, the labor force has continued to fall year after year while debt continues to mount on the backs of the people, the backs of the students, the backs of the future. Our sovereign debt is exploding. We are not in recovery because the Dow Jones is at 14,000 points. This is what the power elite wants you to believe. They want you to believe that there are extraordinary measures that you will not feel the pain from until they are well secure and in most cases relocated out of this country. They don't want you to realize that these measures that they've taken have set us onto a course that is the Titanic hitting the iceberg. Alan Greenspan, in a recent CNBC interview, told Maria Bartiromo he understands the sequester that is coming. This is his opinion now. It's coming. There's no stopping it. Is going to hurt the economy. But more importantly, he says, and I'm paraphrasing, more importantly, what will it do to the markets? Because that's what these people care about, the illusion of the markets. Now, they played this game out over the last 5 years, and we're being told that we're in recovery. But the truth is there if you're willing to look for it through the mainstream spin. The truth is there. Major retailers are suffering like never before. We're in a recovery, yet Walmart issues a memo that Bloomberg got a hold of. The Walmart, the world's largest retailer, Walmart, put out a memo, inter-office memo saying February sales are a total disaster. You don't want to just hang the health of the economy on Walmart. You don't have to. Major retailers are closing up stores. Major retailers are shutting down thousands of stores in the year 2013. Best Buy, up to 250 stores are going to be shut down. Kmart up to 225. Sears up to 125. Office Depot, 150 stores. Barnes & Noble up to 240 stores. Office Max, 175 stores. GameStop, 600 stores are closing. Radio Shack up to 550 stores. Blockbuster is closing down 300 stores. And Hasbro, the toy maker, is reducing its workforce by 10%. This is the reality of our economy. This is in the midst of spending trillions of dollars, printing money, the Federal Reserve $85 million every month, buying U.S. debt in order to feign a recovery. In the midst of this recovery, the height of the recovery, Dow's almost at 14,000 again, kids. Dow's almost back to where it was before the 2008 collapse. In the midst of this recovery, all these companies are shutting down stores because the middle class is dying. It's withering and dying on the vine. And on March 1st, when these do-nothing politicians, when these individuals on the red and blue team look at each other and say, where can we find political cover? They said this a couple years ago, and they've unleashed this plan. They're going to kick the can down the road until one day, when automatic triggers kick in, when it's time for the pain to be realized, we can blame it on automatic triggers. We can blame it on a fiscal cliff. We can blame it on anything and everything other than the absolute corruption and collusion between financial special interests and themselves. These do-nothing politicians that do not serve They do not serve the constituency that sent them to Washington, D.C. They serve financial special interests. Why aren't you hearing this on the mainstream? Why? It's real simple. In 1983, there was 50 companies that controlled 90% of the news that you got to listen to. In the year 2011, that number has shrank from 53 down to 6, and whittling down even more. In 2011, 2 years ago, 6 corporations controlled 90%. General Electric, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. These 6 institutions control 90% of what you get to hear. Think about this for a minute. News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, CBS. These corporations make billions of dollars receiving advertising revenue from companies that wouldn't be in existence right now if it wasn't for the fact that you were thrown another 8, 10, 20, 30 trillion dollars in debt. The corporations that advertise with them that shouldn't be in existence are in existence because you've given up your financial future. We've given up our own financial destiny in order to save a few corporations from going under that should have went under in 2008 and are still in the game. They're running the game, in fact. The first corporation I mentioned, General Electric, itself alone received over 100 billion U.S. taxpayer dollars. Shouldn't be in existence now. All these institutions, along with the too big to fails, you could say should be public utilities at this point in time, but they're not. They're controlling the game. And when it comes time to realize the suffering of the failure of these institutions, it will be us, we the people, who suffer the most. We will shoulder this burden. We will shoulder their failure. Is it just a few days away with this March 1st sequester? Some people think so. I don't know. But it very well could be. If it doesn't play out on March 1st with the sequester, it will be some other automatic trigger event that kicks in. And the realization will be unleashed onto the people of this country and the world that we are not in recovery. We are indeed in a global depression. Stories are attached. Please spread this video around. Please try to wake your friends and family up to take up positions, either in physical assets or in a way to defend and protect their family, because times are going to change. Stories are attached. That's all I got.